of classrooms, construction of building of desks. This created local employment. We had the Kazi kwa Vijana, almost 2 billion monthly, putting money in the pockets of young people, creating employment. What we are saying is that you can still create these jobs without forcing this bitter pill of the housing levy on Kenyans at this time. Would you consider those alternatives? Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Catherine. Let's hear Catherine.
Thank you, Chair.
Sorry, Chair. I left something for the National Treasury. My point that you had referred to on the, I think we were expecting to hear from the CS National Treasury, because all the experts have said there are too many taxes and you need to review some. On fuel alone, as we heard from our earlier presenters, you know, from road maintenance levy, petroleum development levy, petroleum regulatory levy, railway development levy, anti-adulteration levy, merchant shipping levy, import declaration, all this, plus VAT being doubled from 8 to 16. What Kenyans were expecting from you today is to know which of this you can realistically reduce, give them some relief in the short term, even as you're looking at the long term, and also the issue of the housing levy. Thank you.
Thank you. Great.
Thank you, Chair. Having listened to the team that is before us, you seem to have really explained so much about the cost of living. But what are the efforts the respective ministries and PSs are making to explain the issues of cost of living to the most affected grassroots Kenyans that live here? The country is burning with questions. Why are you not getting out honestly to give these answers that you have explained here to us? It is imperative that you move out as ministries, as PSs, to give these explanations to the country. What consideration, again, has been given to the impact of cost of living, especially on women and people living with disability, who bear the biggest burden when there is fuel and tax rises or tax increment? We would like also to hear that, what impact have you done? PS Hinga, thank you so much. You have explained so much. I've listened to you time and again. Almost got convinced. But PS Hinga, to what extent are women and even people living with disability included in the value chain of housing and manufacture in relation to the affordable housing? In the award of even your contracts or your contracts to the applicants who make to your ministry in application to getting chances of this housing, have you given any consideration to women? I've never heard you talk about that. And finally, I'm still at it on Churchill. You have only given the comparison of Kenya and other countries and how we are doing better. Is there any other way you can do it better instead of just giving comparison? You have also talked about the opaque missing prices. What do we do about that as a person and as CS in charge of that? I think I'll come back later. Thank you.
Yeah, mine is going to be very, very short because a lot has been addressed. I just want to know, because in today's daily nation business of today, there is a suggestion that over 6,000 foreign investors flee Nairobi Security Exchange in 9 months. Is this true? And if this is the case, what could be the cost? Two, I've come to notice from my office in Parliament that since the current projection on housing, Mr. Chinga, the current projection to the housing fund is about to Kenya shillings 74 billion, if I'm not wrong. And yet there's a proposal to reduce this by about Kenya shillings 10 billion in the current supplementary budget. If this is true, what would be the basis for this reduction, since you have still declared that this housing levy is going to continue? How is it being reduced midstream? Yeah. Then, what is the current collections to the housing fund? Yeah, that's the point for us to know. Yeah. And what framework are you putting in place to defray expenditure from the fund? Finally, there's this vexed question of the exchange rate, Professor Ndungu. Try to explain to me as a layman, really, all that has been said. Then why is it the case that the value of the Kenyan shilling is equally depreciating against the other East African currencies? Try to break it down to me. Assume I'm just a layman who doesn't understand those fundamentals. Okay?
He doesn't.
Yes. Now, finally, Professor Ndungu, of course, as a scholar, assume for the last 10 months or so, it's now a year.